Alright, here's... Oh, that was probably pretty loud. Alright, here's how this is gonna go. No intro today, nothing. I'm just gonna go straight into it. This is a speedy video. We're gonna be speedy. We're gonna be Speedy Gonzalez. We're gonna go fast. Alright, we're studying. Now we're studying. We're going over Arceus VSTAR deck list today. I paired Arceus VSTAR with Inteleon in the last video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. By the way, also subscribe if you like seeing these deck list videos for Brilliant Stars. Gonna do a lot more of them. So we did this Arceus VSTAR deck, right? I paired it with Inteleon because it's easy. Everything goes with Inteleon. So I did it. Worked out really well. I ended up really liking it. So I'm going to go over the deck list today. Point out the things that were really strong and the things that were not so great that I could fix. Because this is not this is a brand new format. Like, it's going to take some time to test things out, to work out the kinks and stuff. And so at the very end, I'm going to go over a skeleton list, what I think you can take out, so that way you can change it for yourself if you want to try this. You could throw in whatever you want. I'll give you the suggestions for cuts that you can make, and maybe some potential things that you could throw in also. So it's going to be a little meta because I just recorded myself just putting the cards out. And so now I'm going to go over them post. So I'm just going to play this video and pause it whenever I want. So, hey, past me. Alright, so first things first, we've got... Oh, I'm going to do a little knuckle crack. Nice. First things first, we've got 4 Arceus VSTAR, as well as 4 Arceus V. Now, this card is insanely good. It's the star of the new deck. It's one of the best cards. I don't want to say it's the best card to come out of Brilliant Stars, but I think this card is absolutely insane. I think it's going to not only be its own deck, but also probably be in a lot of other decks, whether it's splashed or something like that. I don't know. It's insanely good because mainly of the ability that it has, which says it's the V-Star power that says search your deck for any 2 cards you want and put them into your hand. This doesn't end your turn or anything, so you still get to continue your turn. You just have whatever 2 cards you want from your deck at all times, and you can use this at any point in the game. So starting from turn 2, when you get Arceus V-Star out, you can start using this, or well, not start using, but you can use this. You have access to this Pokemon power, to this ability, and so it's insane. If you're dead drawing, cool. Search for whatever you want. You need an energy for the turn, so that way you can get a turn 2 the attack, which is Trinity Nova, which does 200 damage, and then searches your deck for 3 basic energies and attaches them to your Pokemon V on your bench in any way you like. You need an energy attachment for that? Cool. Yeah, grab an energy, put it on there. Double turbo energy. We hardly ever have special energy search. So the fact that this can search out the special energy that it wants to use is nuts. You can get boss later in the game if you want. For a game, you can get your choice belt. I don't know. I don't have a choice belt in here yet, but I want one. You can get... I mean, think about how good Shady Dealings Inteleon is. You evolve to Shady Dealings Inteleon, you grab a boss, you grab, so many things. It's so good. This is that, but you can get anything, not just trainers. And you don't need to evolve. You can get... If Delinquent was in format and you got Delinquented to 0 cards in hand, you have nothing in your hand, you could just use this ability and just grab whatever you want. Grab a research, grab a, I don't know, something else, an energy. It's nuts. And so I haven't even started talking about the attack. The attack Trinity Nova is also insane. You thought Pikarom was a good deck? This is even more insane. You get to do... Okay, well, you don't get the GX deck, but you get to do 200 damage, so you're 2-shotting everything. And then you're searching your deck for 3 more basic energy cards and attaching them to your Pokemon V in any way you like. You can play as many techs as you want. You can attach it to another Arceus V on the bench. You can charge up like the text that I have in here, or spoiler alert, like a Crabominable V or a Medicham. That doesn't really need energy acceleration, but you're mainly going to be attaching in this deck to a bench Arceus V-Star, so that way you can use things like Charon's Care, which I'll go over, pick up your active Arceus V-Star, remove all of the damage from it, and then swing again with another Arceus V-Star. So even though you're 2-shotting things, you don't care because you have this insane heal. This kind of strategy, and we've seen this with Acerola back in the day too, with like Zoroark Glyspot, it does struggle with things that can one-shot you. So 280 is, not ridiculously hard to hit. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's not like a VMAX. And so things that can one-shot you, that gets a little dicey sometimes. I have a matchup coming up soon, Arceus V-Star versus Charizard V-Star, and so Charizard V-Star has both access to the V-Star power, which does 320 for Charizard V-Star, and then the V-Max, which does 300 damage for its G-Max Wildfire attack. So that's a very interesting matchup, so stay tuned for that video. Anyways, anything else to say about Arceus V-Star? It's so good. It's colorless type, so you get Charon's Care. It's colorless, so you get access to the Dunsparce, which removes weakness. Just all around an amazing card, one of the best cards from the set. Okay, so let's keep talking. I'm glad I pre-recorded this because I could rant all day about stuff. Alright, so then we've got a typical, nothing crazy here, 4 Sobble, 4 Drizzile, 1 Shady Dealings Inteleon, as well as 2 Quick Shooting Inteleons. So, one thing I noticed that was a little annoying about Arceus V-Star is you're using the double turbo energy, which reduces your damage by 200. You're already not doing that much with doing 200 damage. I know 200 damage is supposed to be a lot, but it's not. So when you're reducing it down, now you're doing 180. You're not even, you know, one-hit KOing a Pokemon V. So with these quick shooting Inteleons, now you can make your math a little bit better. You can start setting up knockouts with quick shooting, so you can hit a Pokemon V for 180 and then quick shooting it later for 2 prizes, and then, you know, continue on with your turn. And so I've been really liking the Inteleon. Also, the search is really nice, especially when you want your supporter to go towards something like Charon's Care. You don't always want to be using Professor's Research or Marnie or something like that. You want to be using Charon's Care a good amount of the time. And so with Drizziles and with Shady Dealings Inteleon, you can search it out whenever you need it. And this kind of strategy where you tank hits and try and, you know, basically make your opponent's deck useless in exchange for that you're not able to one-hit KO anything. You're kind of just chipping away at your opponent. That kind of strategy is very susceptible to losing if you miss a beat. So if for some reason, you know, you don't get your Charon's Care that turn, now your opponent takes a knockout. I mean, that's huge. So having your Charon's Care is such a big deal that I think you want Inteleon in this deck, is basically what I'm trying to say. Alright, so some of the techs. We've got the Dunsparce, which removes weakness. This makes Urshifu not that bad of a matchup. I mean, it's still probably not great. They can still ping it with Quick Shooting Inteleon if they play it, but we also have Manaphy, so that makes things easier. We also have an Ordinary Rod, so you can get the Dunsparce back, and this deck plays, as you'll see, 4 level ball, so you can Ordinary Rod it and then search it back out pretty easily. We've also got a Crabominable V, and so Crabominable V actually was a win condition in the best of 3 that I just played, the last video, with its first attack discarding the top 2 cards of your deck. That's not the reason I have it in the deck. The main reason I have it in there is because I wanted some sort of one-hit KO potential. So Arceus V-Star, all of the cards in here are not able to one-hit KO any sort of VMAXs or V-Stars or anything like that. So by attaching those water energies onto your Crabominable V, now you can use the second attack Destroyer Punch, which does 90 plus 60 for every single damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. So that's a very good attack, especially when you pair it with something like Quick Shooting Inteleon. The reason why it hasn't really been used is because, I mean, it's 3 water energies. That's really hard, but not when you're using Trinity Nova every single turn. So Destroyer Punch, if you quick shooting something twice, they have 4 damage counters on them. So now you're doing 90 plus 60 times 40, or 60 times 4. So 60 times 4 is what, 240 plus 90. So you're doing 330. Yeah, you're knocking them out. I mean, even if you have, for some reason, 30 damage on them, how much are you doing with 20 damage? Let's say you ping them for 2. You're doing 120 plus 90, you're doing 210, so they're at 230. Okay, that's not good math. So you'll need 2 quick shooting pings onto a Pokemon, but then you're one-shotting anything. Pretty much everything. And so that's why I have it. I wanted this potential to be able to go for the one-hit KO in the late game if I needed it. If you fall behind in the early game, it's kind of hard to catch up since you're two-shotting stuff. And so having the option to Crabominable V, I thought was good. But there's only 5 water energies in this deck, and so I'm not sure how much I like it. Then we've got a Farfetch'd, has the second bite attack. I don't know if that's what it's going to be called in English, who knows. It's essentially a double colorless for 20 plus 10 for every damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. And so when you swing for 200 damage, maybe you don't want to attack with your Arceus V-Star. Maybe you missed your Charon's Care, whatever. You want to you retreat into Farfetch'd. You want to, I don't know, you want to force a 7 prize game from your opponent. I don't know, something like that. Now, if they have 200 damage on them, it's just a double turbo energy. Now you can swing with second bite for another 200 damage after the double turbo energy reduction. And then you're knocking it out. So you're taking a knockout with a single prizer. I mean, Farfetch'd is doing 200 damage for a double turbo energy. That's pretty good. And so it just helps clean up some of those KOs without sacrificing your Arceus V-Star. Then we've got Manaphy. Great card from the new set. It's going to change the format. No longer are these decks being gatekept by Urshifu and by Jolteon. Now they actually have a fighting chance. And so, by the way, I have not been paying attention to my music. Okay, it's still playing. We're fine. Okay, anyways. Yeah, Manaphy's a great card. It's mainly in here to protect your Dunsparce. I don't know, and I guess your Sobbles and stuff from the Urshifu matchup. I haven't tested the Urshifu matchup at all, so these are just like preemptive techs for that, so keep that in mind. I do think they're going to be super important, though. Yep. Then we have a Medicham V. Oh, God. Medicham V. Medicham V was in here for Yoga Loop. I'm not sure how much I like it. It's fine. It was fine, or it has been fine. Usually by the time you're set up, like you set up a Yoga Loop, or to be able to Yoga Loop, you're already winning. And so even though it only takes double turbo energy, it doesn't even, have any of the downs. Like the downsides of double turbo energy don't apply to Medicham V. You just get to attach double turbo energy and use Yoga Loop. It hasn't been super relevant. Maybe you could set up your Yoga Loop to get a couple more quick shootings set up. You can get, an extra turn, so you can Charon's Care, Yoga Loop. Now, next turn you can boss for whatever. It, I think, is a little bit too situational and a little bit too win more. But it's in here because I wanted to try it out at the very least. Okay, so then we've got supporters. So we've got 3 Charon's Care. Nuts card. We get Acerola, but only colorless Pokemon get it, so it makes colorless Pokemon very, very strong. Okay. So I've talked about Charon's Care enough. We're fine. Then we've got Professor's Research. We've only got 2. I think that's a mistake. I think it needs to be 3. I think 2 is a little greedy on my part. Put 3 in there. Just put 3. Or a second Marnie. I don't know, something. No, put 3 Research. 2 is greedy. Then we've got 2 Boss's Orders. 2 Boss's Orders was perfect. I really liked 2 Boss's Orders. I thought that was fine. We've got 1 Marnie, some Hand Disruption, and 1 Raihan. Now, the Raihan, when I was building this deck list, I thought I underestimated Arceus V-Star's energy acceleration. It really just spews energy onto the board. Any energy like you want, you're gonna have. Like, because you're using Trinity Nova, like the style of this deck is you're using Trinity Nova every single turn. And so Raihan didn't really matter. If that, like, the energy acceleration from Arceus was just so much that Raihan didn't matter. I thought that, maybe there would be a point where something gets knocked out and you like missed an energy attachment on Arceus V-Star, and so you'd want a Raihan. But that really just doesn't happen. Between the V-Star ability and the energy acceleration that Arceus has, I don't think the Raihan is worth it anymore. Okay, so let's just go over the Pokemon search. So we got 4 Level Ball, 3 Quick Ball, 3 Ultra Ball. Come on, Andrew, hurry up. And 3 Evo Incense. So the Pokemon search lines in this format have been very easy. Like for Inteleon, it's been 4 Level Ball, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Evo Incense. Cool. Maybe you have 3 Evo Incense and maybe you have 3 Level Ball, whatever. It's not very variable. However, now we have Ultra Ball, which opens up which is a way better search card than any of those. Yeah, I mean, you get whatever you want, and you get to discard cards, which I guess in this deck isn't that great. But I have 3 Ultra Ball in here. I could see going down to 2 and going back up to 4 Quick Ball. I think that's fine. You really want Arceus V turn 1, so maybe you don't have things, maybe you have an Ultra Ball in your hand turn 1, and you don't necessarily want to discard anything from it. Quick Ball is an easier discard. Sure, play a Quick Ball. However, you really, 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 really want Arceus VSTAR turn 2. And so because of that, that's why I have it set up this way. We have the 4 level ball because Drizzile is insane, obviously. 3 Quick Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Evo Incense, I think gives a good split between being able to get Arceus V turn 1 and Arceus VSTAR turn 2. As well as just having access to whatever you want. And I think, honestly, I think this is the optimal Pokemon search line because of that. You want it to be consistent. You want as much search as possible. All these Pokemon are insanely good. We're just playing all the broken Pokemon. We're playing the broken Arceus V-Star, and we're playing the broken Inteleon line. And then Dunsparce removes weakness. It's amazing. Manaphy protects bench. All these broken cards. So just search them out. Just play cards to search them out. Don't cut them. All right, then we've got Ordinary Rod, an Air Balloon. Pretty self-explanatory. You might want a second Air Balloon, but I'll go over that in a bit. Oh, okay. Path to the Peak. I played 3 Paths to the Peak because I wanted a stadium because... Why did I want a stadium? I wanted a stadium... Well, I mean, sometimes you just throw Path into stuff. That's what it seems like. Like Jolteon. Yeah, no, Path is good in Jolteon. It's just like this deck didn't have a stadium and it can afford to play Path to the Peak. You do kind of have to worry about playing Path to the Peak and then disrupting your own V-Star ability. It does shut that off. And so I guess you have to be careful of that. I'm not crazy about Path to the Peak. It's fine. It wasn't great in testing. It hasn't been great in testing. I don't think very many things get disrupted by Path to the Peak anymore. And if they do, then they already have their whole suite of stadiums that it's pretty easy to counter the Path to the Peak with. You mainly want them in here to counter things like Magma Basin, which is going to be an insane stadium card that Charizard V uses, and whatever other fire decks that play that card. You mainly just want to counter to that. So you can play Path to the Peak, you can play Collapse Stadium, you can play whatever you want. I don't know. I'm not crazy about Path to the Peak, but I think you do need a stadium in here. Then, finally, last but not least, we got the energies. So we've got 5 water energies. I love 5 water energies. I've been seeing lists with 4 water energies and 4 double turbo energies. Sure, that seems nice and has the syllogism, the symmetry, the law of syllogism. I don't know if that's what it is. But 5 has been so good. Let's say you prize one, and you prized one, or let's say you play 4. Sorry, you attach 1 to your Arceus V-Star, and you have a double turbo energy on it. Now you have 3. If you prized 1, you're screwed. You can accelerate 2 onto your benched Arceus. Not great. So 5 protects against that, and also just gives you a little bit more to work with. You can also, you have an extra 1 to attach onto your Shady Dealings Inteleon, and you can Raihan onto that if you keep the Raihan in. I think 5 is perfect. You could go up. Arceus V-Star has amazing energy acceleration. You could play more. Why not? Spewing energy into play is never a bad thing. And then you got 4 double turbo energy. The reason why the whole deck works and can attack turn 2 is because this card was printed. It does reduce your damage, but you don't care. You got to play 4. No ifs and or buts. Okay, so this is the list that I've been testing with. Honestly, it felt solid. It felt so good. It flowed really, really well. Besides, one game I prized both of my Professor's Research. But even 2 Professor's Research still felt fine. You probably should play 3, or you could play 2 Research, 2 Marnie. I think that's fine. But if I was to make any cuts, let's see what Pastor Andrew decided. Yeah, you don't need the Path of Peaks. You could play something else. You could play 2 stadiums if you want. Who cares? I do think Stadium Wars are going to be a huge thing, so you probably should play 3. But play the Clap Stadium, play the Path to the Peak, whatever the meta ends up being is what you should probably play. Or whatever is better against the meta is what you should play. Okay, the Raihan, it was bad. Just take it out. Put a second Marnie or something in. The Medicham V, it was cool. Probably not worth it. The Crabominable V, it was cool. probably not worth it. Still, just test it out. But for now, I'm trying to get us down to like a skeleton list. So I don't think those cards are needed in this. I basically want to get us down to bare bones, what I think is needed in the deck. The Farfetch'd, I don't think that's needed either. So those are like the tech cards. Yeah, so I'd probably put in a third research, maybe a second Marnie. You do want the 3 stadiums, I think. And a second air balloon. Yeah, the retreating is going to be pretty big in this also. Sorry about the wobbling, by the way. Yeah, so the retreating is going to be big. So this is, I think, a pretty good skeleton list. Yeah, there we go. I think this is a pretty good skeleton list. So yeah, go ahead, try this out. Let me know how it goes. Like I said, this is testing, you know? We're testing this deck. We're testing the new set. I want to be able to give you guys, you know, the lists that I come up with that I'm testing, and are constantly changing. I mean, no one's going to have a perfect list right off the bat. And so I want to make, I guess, everything transparent too. I don't want to market this as, this is the best deck list ever. Use it and you're going to win every game. This is testing, so I'm going to let you guys know what I think is also weak and what can be cut and what changes you can make. So just take that in mind, and that's how I'm going to do all these deck list videos. So subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. I'm going to make sure to get lots of deck lists out to you guys, lots of match videos. If you don't have time to do the testing, I have lots of testing that I'm going to do. I have so much time. Easy. Cool. So yeah, subscribe, like this video, do all the things, helps me out a lot. And comment below, let me know what you think of the deck and any changes that you might make. Yeah, so thanks so much. See ya.